Do you struggle to stick to your diet while you're traveling? Me too. This weekend, we are traveling for 2 days back to back. On Friday, we have to drive about 4 hours to get our taxes done because that's where our accountant lives. So we'll be on the road all day that day. Then we get home and then wake up Saturday morning and go brand calves at my in-laws, and that's a 100-mile drive. So this disrupts my week from my typical stay at home, have my schedule, have all of the way that I eat throughout the week is routine. So these 2 days of travel are going to throw that out of whack, I guess. So, and it's hard because let me just tell you really quick about the old me. When I would travel, I do really good throughout the whole entire week. And then we'd go somewhere and my temptations would get the best of me and I'd fall off the wagon, and then I'd have to restart on Monday and feel guilty and all those things. And when we go to town, it's kind of like a treat because we don't have all of those things available, like Dairy Queen. My favorite thing is peanut butter, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup Blizzard, and stopping at the gas station and loading up on chocolate covered raisins. Like, those are all the little treats that I would give myself and just be like, oh well, it's only 2 days, who cares, blah blah blah. So that's why I wanted to come on today and talk about how really to stay on track when you're traveling and give you some tips for kind of the new me and what I do now. So yeah, that's what I want to do. If you are someone who does struggle, dude, it's real. Don't even think that you need to try harder or use more willpower or that you could never do it, because that's just not the case. I'm going to walk you through really 4 tips or tricks. They're not really tricks. They're just tips that I'm going to do myself this weekend, and it works for me, and hopefully it will work for you. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Andrea Otley, and I'm a horse crazy wife and mom of 3 from a small ranching town in southeastern Oregon. I lost over 30 pounds after my last child, so the baby weight is gone. I've got a little bit left to go, and it's really been falling off of my body these last, really since Christmas time. So I'm motivated to share what I'm doing and really help you lose weight and get fit to ride too. So that's what I'm all about, is sharing what I'm doing, what works for me, and how you can use it too. Okay, so let's dive in. My very first thing that I do, and this starts before I even leave on Friday morning, is I have very clearly defined goals. I know exactly what I'm working towards. I've mapped this out in the past, so this is kind of a prerequisite to before you leave. Make sure you have your goals. Make sure you know what you're working towards. It gives you focus. I'll just give you an example of mine. Right now, I'm on a mission to lower my body fat percentage. I am currently, according to my Fitbit Aria scale, I am at 29.7% body fat, and my goal is to get down to 20%. That's my goal. It's very important to me. I know why I'm doing it and all those things, but I know that's my goal. So then when you have a goal like that, you're very committed and you know what you're going to get done. And you have that focus. It's like a destination. Okay. The second thing that I am doing before I even leave on Friday morning is I ask myself, on a scale from 1 to 10, what is my commitment level to that goal? And I can tell you right now, it is, I blow that thing out of the water. I am so committed to my goal, and I know that. I don't have to explain it to anybody. I can just have this private conversation. I ask myself, how committed am I from a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest? I'm by far beyond a 10. I'm committed. And it's like making a pact with myself. That's the most important accountability that you can have, is your pact with yourself. I know that's where I'm at. And that way, when we drive by the Dairy Queen and that temptation of getting the cookie dough blizzard or the Reese's Pieces blizzard or whatever flavor of the month it is, I know already that I'm committed to my goal, and it takes very little willpower. There's not even a question. I'm not going to have it because I'm committed to my goals in advance. Very important. So these are kind of like mindset little tricks and tips that I'm giving you to work on for not just traveling, but all the time, So the third thing that I want to share with you is a mindset shift. Kind of those others were too, but this one is after you have the goal set, after you know that you're totally committed to it, here's the mindset shift that I recently went through myself, and it's working so well. Instead of looking at my trip to town and all those temptations and treats that I used to give myself as something I can't have, like I can't have peanut M&Ms. I can't have a big 44-ounce Pepsi at the gas station. I can't have, pasta loaded up with a bunch, I don't even know right now. I can't think of anything, but I can't have that. So instead of having that mentality of I can't have it, it's completely shifted for me based on the work that I've been doing with what I've been putting into my body. And that's a whole nother topic that we'll get into later. But it is shifting from I can't have that to I don't want it. And I know that seems like, oh yeah, I've heard that all before, blah, blah, blah. But let me share with you a little story about what's happened to me in terms of that types of food and my cravings for the bad food that I know is sabotaging my goals. So my kids know that my kids know what my goals are, and they know that I'm working on accomplishing them. So we'll just be doing little random stuff, and they'll be like, hey, Mom, you can't have bread, huh? Or, hey, Mom, you can't have the Schwann's bar ice cream cone, huh? And, my brain has shifted so much that the other day I finally sat my oldest son down. I didn't sit him down. He was already sitting down. But I'm like, look, let me explain to you how this is. Because I kept telling them over and over. I said, it's not that I can't have it. It's that I don't want it. I don't want, honest to goodness, not a pep talk, not something I'm faking. I don't want to put that stuff in my body. So I thought of an example because I kept repeating this to them over and over and over again. And it was like they didn't believe me. They kept saying, oh, you can't have that, huh? And isn't that such a common mentality that we get into when we decide we're going to go on a diet or try to lose weight or do something to improve our health? We have to make some changes, and we know that. And so then all of a sudden we're like, oh, I've got to live within these rules, and they're so tight, and now I can't have this, and I have to have that, and I can't do this, but I have to do that. Dude, that is a recipe for disaster. And that's what the trick is and it's not a trick. It's a way of learning how to live differently. And I want to dive into how I got to this point. But for now, let me just explain to you that's how it works. And basically how I look at this now is let's take my gas station example. If I walk into the convenience store and behind the cash register, that's usually, at least in Oregon anyway, I don't know if states have different things for this, but there are, cartons and cartons of cigarettes behind the cash register. And if you want to get some cigarettes, you have to ask them, you have to say, can I please have blah, blah, blah. Well, anyway, I told that to my son. I said, I don't smoke. I've never smoked. I don't know what it's like to smoke or want or have cravings for cigarettes. But if you or me go into the gas station and we look around, we know we don't want the cigarette. Like it's not even a temptation. We know that we don't want that. I explained to him, that's how it works for me now. If you say, you can't have the bread, huh, Mom? I'm like, I don't want the bread, just like I don't want the cigarettes. That's a mind shift. That is a mind shift. And that's what's happened to me basically since Christmas when I started making some changes in the way I've been eating. And that is the mindset that I think is necessary to figure out how to get into whatever it takes when you travel because of all the old temptations that were there. You don't have to use any more willpower. You just stop trying harder. So, okay, the fourth thing that I want to talk about then is planning ahead. So this is not my forte at all. I am not naturally a planner. I'm not a very organized person. I fly by the seat of my pants most of the time, but I know in this instance, it's a recipe for disaster to just wing it. And I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is make sure I know what my schedule is. So Friday, I know our tax appointment is at noon. So then basically I plan your day, you know, just like you do anything. I have to get inside the car at a certain time to make it to my taxes on time. I know how long that appointment's going to take. I know what time I have to leave in order to get home to get the rest of my things done. That takes planning. I already know that I have to do that. So why is it different with food? Why not take a little, it doesn't mean you have to have it all laid out exactly, but if you have a little bit of a plan as to when you're going to eat, where you're going to eat, and what you're going to eat, then you have kind of a game. And it's not like if you're with people that you have to make it be all rigid and all that stuff. But if you just take a little bit of time to understand where you're going to be and what you're going to be eating and all those things. So I know, like I said, our appointment is at noon. So we will more than likely give ourselves a little buffer. We'll probably leave around 6. That's 6 hours to get there. I know there's 4 hours of driving time. I know I don't want to go into my tax appointment that lasts 3 hours on an empty stomach. So we'll make sure we get there about 11 and stop off and eat for half an hour. I will think very clearly about where that will be. What places can I go to that offers the types of foods that I'm eating? What do they have on the menu? What will I be eating? You know, types of things. And like for me, for an example, I most likely will, maybe it'll be Subway and I'll go get my favorite, which is a huge chopped salad with double meat, with all the vegetables except for jalapeno, ranch dressing, cheese, and salt and pepper. I think that's what I put on it. So I know that in advance. You know, there's lots of chain restaurants that offer the same menu no matter where you're at. So you can kind of already have that game plan going. Do some research on what restaurants offer the types of foods that'll set you up for success. Okay. The same thing when we go brand on Saturday, we'll be in the middle of nowhere. We won't be at a restaurant. We will be at the mercy of whoever provides the food, because that's kind of traditional with brandings is you get there and you work for 3 or 4 hours and then everyone celebrates with a big meal. Like my mother-in-law makes the most outstanding meal and we all sit around and usually drink pop or beer and eat and enjoy the desserts and all that sort of thing. I know that's what the situation will be. So I'm going to plan ahead. And it's not that maybe I will have a cookie. I'll decide in advance, though, if I'm going to have a piece of pie or if I will drink a beer. But what I know I'll stick to are the types of foods that will be available there. She always has some type of meat. She'll always have some type of vegetable. You know, I'm eating high fat right now, so I'll look for the things that have high fat. I'll stay away from the really super carby things because I'm eating really low carb. I know that about myself. So for you, just think, okay, if I'm in a situation where the other people are providing the food, can I bring a side dish that maybe, you know, just offer it here? Hey, you know, we're here. I'm bringing a side dish to add to your lunch. Thank you so much for having us. And then you're in control of what you get to eat in a way that's not weird or any of those things. Okay. Okay, so that's what I wanted to tell you. Those are how I'm going to survive going to get our taxes done one day, come straight home, go to a branding the next day where we'll be traveling for 2 days in a row. I make sure I have my goals set. I know what I'm doing. I ask myself how committed I am to those goals. I make sure I have that shifted mindset where I know I don't want those things instead of telling myself I can't have that. And then I make sure I plan ahead. Okay, so the last thing before I get off, what I want to leave you with is if you travel and you mess up, It's not the end of the world. Lose the fear. Don't live on that razor's edge of needing to be perfect and stressing out and missing out on the joys of whatever function you're traveling to. So on Saturday, we're going to be around, we're going to be doing something that we love to do. We get to rope calves. It's a way of life that we cherish. It's a time to enjoy it. And if that means I drink a beer, so I drink a beer. It's not the end of the world. It will not, that one time, that one thing is not going to sabotage my goals. The worst thing that I could do is be there and be all stressed out, and people look at me like, what's wrong with her? And like talk about it a whole bunch and make a big deal. No, I like to just be real and enjoy things beyond the food. I don't want to make it into a big thing. So if you happen to fall off the wagon while you're traveling, dude, you're human. Just start back over. Don't make a big issue out of it. One time is not going to wreck anything. You'll be fine. Just don't let that be an excuse to fall back into your old ways. And you know what? Believe in yourself. If the things that I'm talking about seem beyond your control, don't even go there. You are so much stronger than you realize. Just take it one step at a time. Sit down today, write out your goals. Don't try to do all of this in one whack. Take it baby steps at a time and just start making some progress and see how strong you are. Let the old weak you who you don't want to be anymore, just let that person go and embrace this new empowered you who has goals and drive to accomplish what you want. You can do this. I know you can. Another little tip that I read in this book called, let me think if I can think of the book's name. I do a lot of reading and studying on this type of stuff. So it is Miracle. It has the word miracle and weight loss in it. I'll have to post it in the comments if I think of it. Yeah, it's something like that. The miracle. Sorry. A Course in Weight Loss. I think that's what it's called. A Course in Weight Loss. It's like A Course in Miracles, only it's called A Course in Weight Loss, and it's a very faith-based way of weight loss. And there was one chapter, one homework assignment that she gave us that really helped me understand, especially with my addiction to sugar and the foods that I was trying really hard to stay away from, is that admitting that you are, that you are really powerless to the addiction of carbs and to the addiction of sugar. You are powerless. There's so much going on with what happens to the chemicals in your brain and the hormones in your body that some people are powerless. And if that feels like you, just that admittance. When I admitted I was powerless over my struggles with sugar addiction, then I realized there was something more powerful than my sugar addiction itself. So here's me. Here's this big, huge problem that I've created for myself. But you know what surrounds all of that is God and God's love for me and the rightness, the way, the beautiful way He created me to be perfect and how He wants me to succeed at this, and just putting my faith in knowing that God is bigger than my problems. Like, here's me, my problems are huge, God is way bigger than my problems. And then I would just turn everything loose and go, I can't do this by myself. I need your help. Please help me. And just saying those little prayers constantly and then just turning loose of it. Don't say the little prayer and then still hang on to it, but say the little prayer and then just let it go. Let it go. And let God help you. Let, the guidance of your angels come and help you. It seems weird to talk about these things that are very private to me and the things that I do, but I want you to know that there's so much involved with this, that it's not just, oh yeah, give me a weight loss plan and I'll just follow it. Give me your tips and I'll follow them. It's really important to me to help you understand these concepts and the mind shifts that happen when it works for reals. Because it's a little bit misleading of a title when I say, do you struggle to stick with your diet while you travel? Like, dude, no diets. I hate diets. But diet as defined in what you eat, what you put in your body. Your horse has a diet. He's not on a diet. He has a diet. He's eating certain things. Same with you. Maybe you're not on a diet. Maybe you're eating clean. And that is your diet. You're eating clean. How do you do that when you travel? So hopefully these tips that I've just shared will help you with that. I want to know if you can share with me if you found any of this helpful. Please give me a like. share this if that's what matters to you. I'm trying really hard to find ways to help you on your journey, to help you lose weight, to help you get fit to ride. So share some tips with me. What do you do when you travel that's worked? Maybe we can get a discussion going. Maybe we can share with each other what's working. So be sure when you watch this, let me know what's working for you or tips that you'd like to share. And then lastly, what I want to leave you with is I have a Facebook group. If you just search Cowgirl Up Fitness Community, you can join that. A lot of times it helps to be in, supported with other people like you on a daily basis. You can ask questions. You can go, hey, look, I'm traveling to here. Can you, give me your best vibes? Let me know I can do this. I'm surrounded by a bunch of people who do not eat that healthy. I need your support, that type of thing. So anyway, that's what we do inside the Cowgirl Up Fitness Community. Come and join us. And yeah, that's what I want to say. Thank you so much for watching this, and we'll talk to you soon.